opening tomorrow of the Head of State Conference on Climate Change. In Italy, Giorgia Meloni officially appointed Prime Minister. Those were the top stories. Thanks for joining us in our newsroom. The President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, welcomed this Saturday at the beginning of the evening his Somali counterpart, Mr. Hassan Sheikh Mohamud, at the Mbuli International Airport. A delegation composed, among others, of members of the government greeted the Somali president on his arrival at the airport. This welcome ceremony led to a first meeting between the two presidents in the airport's VIP lounge. The Somali president is a tribe to Djibouti related to the participation in the International Conference on Climate and Researches that under the aegis of its first magistrate, His Excellency Ismail Margili, the Republic of Djibouti is organizing tomorrow, Sunday. Among other illustrious guests, President Hassan Sheikh Mohamud will serve as the distinguished guests of this event of international scope, one of the key components of which will consist of the inauguration of the Djibouti Regional Resources Observatory for the Environment and Climate. A high-level delegation, including in particular the Somali Ministers of Defense, Abdul Qadir Mohammed Noor, and the parliamentarian Sadiq Umar, is accompanying the Somali president as a part of this tribe in Djibouti. In a statement he made about climate change, the Minister of Higher Education and Scientific Researches, Mr. Nabil Mohammed, indicated that despite the challenges that result from the climate change, the Republic of Djibouti did not remain, he said, spectators and came first, he added, and he said, let's start from this observation. As the climate is warming, we have noticed a certain number of problems, and this global warming creates food insecurity. On the initiative of the President of the Republic, since will be used to mitigate the effect of climate change and provide appropriate responses to the new situation, said the minister. In turn, the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, note that Djibouti will host distinguished and the discussion on climate change tomorrow during a conference that will bring together many head of state from the region and the people of the region, along with eminent scientists, climate change and researchers from all over the world. He said, absolutely, because of the multiple devastating effects of climate change, such as long drought and breathing or even sea level rise, extreme temperature, flooding, and even desert locust. To name a few, we have an obligation to rethink about our action due to the challenges of climate change. The international community must support developing countries so that they can benefit from the transfer of technology and expertises as well as appropriate financing, said the head of the state. The Union for Democracy and Justice Party, known as UDG, celebrated today, Saturday, the 22nd October, during an official ceremony held at the Sheraton Hotel. The ceremony dedicated to commemorating the 2 decades anniversary of the founding of this political formation was attended by members of the party's executive office as well as the party's president, Ms. Elia Ismail Gidi, who receive a warm welcome and greet ovation upon her arrival in the ceremony site. It was also remarkable the presence of many supporters and this political formation on this anniversary, which constituted an opportunity to review the party's march as well as the challenges and future challenges that the party aspire to the coming days. Then the program began with reciting the verses of the Noble Quran al-Karim.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إذا جاء النصر الله والفتح ورأيت الناس يدخلون في دين الله أفواجا فسبح بحمد ربك واستغفره إنه كان توابا صدق الله العظيم.
Speech on this occasion, the president of the Union for Democracy and Justice, known as UDG, Ms. Elia Ismail Gidi, thanked the founding members and the member of a political office of the party, as well as a representative of civil society organization participating in this celebration, which is dedicated to commemorating she said, 2 decades anniversary of the founding of this political formation. And on the other hand, Ms. Elia Ismail Gedi spoke about the challenges that the country are facing these nowadays, the bronze continent, and the whole world are witnessing, calling for concerted efforts by all to reduce their consequences, she said. The head of Egyptian diplomacy, Mohammed Ali Yusuf, and the Japanese ambassador to the Republic of Djibouti, Mr. Otsuka Omyu, proceeded today to the signing of an exchange of notes on the program of equipment to fight against natural disasters in presence of the Chief of Defense Staff. This is a non-refundable Japanese donation on an amount of approximately 500,000 Djiboutian francs. And also with the objective of this training, the capacity of the armies of Djibouti within the framework of a fight against natural disaster. The program of Japan will provide with this bilateral cooperation program in various structuring equipment that will be used by the Djiboutian armies to fight against natural disaster. In his speech, the head of diplomacy first welcomed the ambassador of Japan and on behalf of the government of Djibouti, the government of Japan for this year, for this valuable assistance which will facilitate the daily work of the armies in the fight against natural disaster. He stressed that the signing of this exchange note is a reflection of the privileged relation maintained between Djibouti and Japan. It should be also noted that the two countries maintain fruitful relation and consult each other regularly in order to explore ways and means of strengthening them further. It was yesterday evening the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdilli, accompanied 9 children with their families who suffer from heart disease to Djibouti International Airport, and this is a medical evacuation. The surgeries for these 9 children will be performed at the Nil Hope Hospital in Alexandria, Egypt. This medical evacuation was supported by the government of Djibouti in cooperation with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Upon their departure last night at the international airport, the Minister of Health initially wished the children a successful operation, after which the minister expressed his solidarity and support to the families of the children who will accompany them during this medical trip. In his speech, the Minister, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdilli, indicated that this program was initiated by the President of the Republic, His Excellency Ismail Margili, who always ordered us to serve his fellow citizens. So throughout strict directive, the Minister of Health, Dr. Ahmed Roble Abdilli, addressed the families of the 6 children, indicating that their 9 children had already been examined and that his administration was following up on their condition. The minister indicated in his intervention that these children will be transferred to the hospital in Alexandria, a hospital specialized in heart surgery, said the minister. The Minister of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Mohamed Warsamadiri, in the presence of the Ambassador of Djibouti in Paris, Mr. Ayed Moussa, and also the Secretary Regional of the Ministry of Trade and Tourism, Mr. Ali Daoud, and Director General of the National Tourism Agency, Mr. Osman Abdi, participated in a press conference held in Paris on October 18. The aim of the conference is to widely promote the destination of Djibouti to French tourists in order to restore the confidence of tourists after a period of 2 years marked by a spread of COVID-19 crisis, to shed light on all achievement and reform efforts that have been made to stimulate the economic potential of this sector. For his part, the Minister of Tourism emphasized the strong national political will to make the tourism sector of patriotic sector for social and economic development and also the job creation. The French press has expressed clear and renewed interest in the full coverage of the undeniable origins of the Djibouti and destination. This meeting with the journalists from the general and specialized tourism press in France result in a series of a question and answer that focus on tourism potential of our country in terms of destination and investment opportunities in the sector. In Tajura region, Tajura area witnessed an event dedicated to cleaning and beautifying the city street. Hundreds of volunteers participated in this occasion. All of them cleaned the state and the site of the main arteries of the city. Official from department and the centralization service, as well as sport and community organization association that are based in Tajura region also participated in this step. The governorate in cooperation with the regional council supported the national road agency in Tajura region. The sport complex and the community development center mobilized the necessary means to make this day successful. In a speech to the Minister of Investment, she did not fail to encourage the effort made by the official of Tajura region and from the Department of Decentralization Service in this occasion in order to clean all the site and main arteries of the White City. The Minister of Women and Family and the National Union of Djibouti Women in cooperation with the United Nations Organization for Migration conclude the activities of Rural Women's Day by opening two women's cooperative in the south of the country in the Dakhel region last Thursday. The two cooperative in Kartali and Shakhaiti sub-district will improve the living condition for the benefit of the women resident and play a prominent role in the integrating the female through the economic empowerment in this process of community and economic development of Dakhel region. The event witnessed the participation of officials from the Ministry of Women and Families and the National Union of Djiboutian Women, the United Nations Organization for Migration, as well as local authorities attend in this meeting. Under the auspice of the Minister of Youth and Culture, a tree planting event was launched through the Community Development Center in the 3rd District, and where about 20 trees will be planted in each center, and volunteers will monitor the growth of the plant. This initiative came within the framework of the youth activities in preparation for the celebration of the National and African Day, which will be celebrated soon in the capital, Djibouti, and especially at the People's Palace. And the events were attended by technical advisor, the Minister of Culture, and also Director of Youth Economic Integration, and Mr. Ismail Osman, Director of Community Development Center, Ms. Ruqiyya Hassan, along with local official and elected official, Deputy Mayor of Balbala, member of the Modesty Councils, and many young people and volunteers were attended in this gathering. These tree planting activities is carried out by volunteer citizens following the celebration of the World Food Day and the fight against global warming due to the greenhouse gas and human activities, hence the commitment of young people within a volunteer project. It was last Thursday that Training of Trainer Center in Basic Education hosted an event dedicated to the official launch of activities and fourth edition of the training and in the Africa Programming Week initiative. The move aimed to strengthen local pedagogical capacity through training of the trainers and support the emergence of culture and training within and among communities across Africa, as well as facilitating the integration of digital skills and coding into schools circular in order to have a lasting impact on the younger generation. The move was launched through a digital Africa initiative that aims to spark young people with interest in the computer programming they need to succeed in the 21st centuries and activity and they actively contribute to the economic development of the continent. This occasion was a unique opportunity to stimulate the spirit of the creativity and excellence develop of the creativity skills of learners support and to in order to support them and mention them the greater opportunity keep pace and highlighted the personal project of the learners. And now moving on to the international scenes. In Uganda, the Ugandan authorities have imposed a complete closure on two central regions of the country as part of their effort to stop the spread of Ebola virus. The president of Uganda, in a speech, televised address announcement the new measure for residents of Uganda and the region. Associate Press reported the measure include a travel ban to the end and those areas. The closure of all place of entertainment and place of worship, provided that health officials supervise all the burials in those areas. According to the agency noted that the new measures, which last for at least 21 days, also include the imposition of a night curfew. President also said the measures were temporary, aim at controlling the spread of Ebola since last September 20. The country has recorded 58 cases of the virus, and whom at least 19 people have died, including 4 health workers. Other news, Giorgia Meloni, who with her brother of the Italy party, won a historic victory in the legislative election, has officially been appointed head of a government, becoming the first woman to hold this position in the country's history. The 45-year-old daughters of Rome who brought her party to power exactly a century after her counterpart, and has an absolute majority in both of the Chamber of Deputies and the Senate, along with her coalition partners. Following her appointment, Giorgia Meloni presented her cabinet, which will be sworn in on a Saturday morning in front of the President of the Republic, Sergio. The list of ministers reflected a desire to reassure. This is it for this edition. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful evening.